So, Brendan, you did the user training, eh?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to start with the venue admin. Venue admin is about 6 hours of training. So I'll start. You can, but you know maybe some already. So when I'm
Yeah.
in a section, and you know about it, you or Janus, just tell me, and then I'll just skip it.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll do the training not as usual, where we'll go down each one. Maybe you'll know, maybe you don't know it yet. Then maybe there's other items that you would rather know about.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just do
Anyway,
it that
sorry,
way.
can I, before you start, can I just ask a quick question? In terms of the admin users, has Amy been removed completely? Or is that something we'll also go through now? I
Yeah,
just wanted to
we're
double
going to
check that.
get to users, then I'll show
Yeah.
you how to disconnect the users or administrators.
Thank you.
Okay, so the venue setup, of course, the manuals are also here under help. The setup manual is available here, and the user manual is available here. So the venue details is actually just all your details for your venue. The name that we're going to use and display everywhere. The street address, you can add a postal address in here, the city, Western Cape, telephone numbers, who's our main contact. So I'm going to remove Amy here.
Mhm.
Is that good? Okay.
Yep,
Yep.
that you can do. You can add Brendan in there. Yeah.
And Brendan, your surname?
Jordan.
And then your main email for the venue is stay@elitalodge.co.za. The server sends a copy to Amy at the moment and also to Stay.
Yeah, so we can take Amy off. Do we need the copy email?
You don't need it. If it's just if a booking comes in, it will CC. You get a copy to Stay every time.
Okay.
And if you want to receive it in another email as well, it will also go there. So I don't know if you want to receive it, maybe.
Yeah, okay. I think maybe you just add mine. So mine is just Brendan. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can take it off. We don't need it, but I think we can take Amy off.
But if you don't want it anymore, you can also go and put a rule in your Outlook that says anything from no reply, just put it in that folder.
Okay.
But if you don't want it, you can just come back here and you can just remove your own email address here.
No, it's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Then just the trader's name, and that is just for our internal purposes. We don't display it anywhere. We've got the owner up as Janus Base at the moment, just because he's our main contact here.
Okay.
And then your Facebook link, you can also add a Twitter account link or a LinkedIn account link. Watermark, I don't think you'll use it, but you can add a watermark to your setup, and it will have a watermark behind all your invoices.
Yeah, no, I think we're fine.
Okay. So if you want to have it, and then you can fade it to a lighter or darker color, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
Then images, so your pictures, there's your banner. And this banner we use online, and you will also see when we get to emails, there's variable fields where you can decide, I want to use my banner, my icon, or just a logo. Okay, so you can upload different images here. That will be your icon, and this is your full logo then. Yeah. Then the legend, everywhere on your booking screens, you'll see that legend. I'm sure you know that already. What is this color standing for? This legend, the status in the reservation list, all the screens you have this legend. In the venue setup, we allow you, these are all default colors, but we also allow you to change the colors to whatever you want to. So that's the status.
Yep.
So if you don't like our gray, you can change it to any gray you want to.
Okay. No, I think we're good with 4 colors.
Yeah. Then taxes, your VAT registered, your prices include VAT and 15%. Here's your VAT number, registration number, and you work in rand.
Yep.
BE levels, you can add it in here, but it's only used for venue link purposes. You don't belong to TOMSA, I don't
No.
think
No.
so. Okay. So if you tick this, you'll see also in the manual, it says if you tick that, it will add a 1% tourism levy to all your reservations. And then you have to pay that tourism levy over to Tomza. So then your bank account details, there's all your bank account details. Default values, your check-in time is 3 o'clock, your check-out time is 11.
Mm-hmm.
Your rate is at a category level. Okay, so we also can do it at the room level, but we never suggest it for venues with more than 10 rooms. So
Yeah.
all the OTAs, everybody works by category. So only if
Mm-hmm.
you have 5 or a small bed and breakfast and you've got a zebra room and an elephant room and they all look different, we'll suggest for you to use the rate levels by room. So you're on category level. That no PDF is just where you can add a link in your emails and say download your document here. We did that a few years ago. Google had a thing, if there's a PDF attached, the email will go into spam, and then they removed that again. So that's why that is still there. We don't know when we're ever going to use it again. Your default customer segmentation is at nothing. So what happens if I start making a booking from anywhere, any screen, and I start a booking, it's got no segmentation in here pre-selected. So I have to come here and I have to select it, what customer it is. Yeah. So that is what customer segmentation is. So your default group is empty because you've got other ones they can select. But if somebody books a room online, we call them accommodation. And maybe you can just change the names later to accommodation customer, whatever, events customer. If somebody buys event tickets, you're calling them events. Your deposit is currently set up at 50% deposit. You can add a period and a day in there and say then it will stipulate that the deposit is only valid for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, whatever it is. And then your default revenue. So your accommodation revenue automatically goes to your revenue group accommodation. For activities you don't have and your e-tickets, it goes straight to events revenue category. Yeah. You don't have day visitors. So there's no rooms on your main calendar. You'll see you've got all your rooms displayed here. Now, venues with an amount of rooms that you've got will normally not do this because the calendar gets too cluttered. They manage their rooms from their monthly calendar or the all availability screen, which is much better. Okay, so that no rooms, if I tick it and save, it will remove your rooms from this calendar and it will only show your Lapa hire or the boardroom or any event ticket that's going on. And it will remove the rooms from this screen. So I don't know if you prefer working like this.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think the way we use it now, I think it's fine.
Yeah, so if you just tick it and say save, it will remove the rooms from that screen. You're currently using our feedback. So 12 hours after departure, your customer gets feedback. If you don't want to use our feedback, you can just tick it here and this server will stop sending the customer's feedback. You're not using the sign in, sign out. Okay. Show customer name. I always tick it when we do the setup. Then everywhere where you scroll over, hover over, or in the reservation list, hover over, it will show you the customer first name and last name. Okay. Some venues only work with last name, and some of them only work on small little devices, mobiles or tablets, and then they want to save space so they don't show the first name. So that's why that is in there. You don't have activity search, you don't have activity vouchers, show room description on invoice. So for every room, you know you've got a description in your resource category for the room. You can also add that to every invoice. So if this room is booked out on the invoice, this category, it will automatically add this note in the invoice if you want to do it that way. So that is what that allows you to do. Show a room description on invoice. Then you can also say, if I have a status of a booking in inquiry or quotes, I can exclude it from my availability. So in the reports, you've got an availability report. And then if you say excluded, if you pull this report, let's say for a tour operator, they want to know for that 3 days, what do you have available? You can do it by category. You can print it, export it, show booked, and include prices. And you can pull this report. If you select these 2 options in your venue setup, it will exclude inquiries or quotes out of that report.
Okay.
Then your terms and conditions. So currently, your invoices is very long, and I'll show you why. Let's take this one. Okay. So this is what we call where we normally just add 3 or 4 bullets. Okay. If you have a lot of info like this, we normally add it in the footer. Because if you have 3 or 4 or 5 rooms booked out here, the bank details move down to the second page, and then everybody phones you and say, where's your bank details? Because they never scroll to the second page. So I would suggest that you add all of this information in your footer note. Okay, so what we normally, this terms and conditions, is normally that will say you can leave that on, use your pay now button, and which reference do they have to use, or if you want the proof of payment to be mailed. And then we'll rather add, if I do this now, and we'll add it here in your footer note. Just to show you. Especially when you book more than 1 room. So now I'll have that note. We must just remove those spaces there. And there's a space behind that. I'll remove that. But now at least the book banking details will move up. And all that cancellation policies will be here at the bottom.
So, but
So I
will the
don't know.
banking details move up because it hasn't
Yes,
moved up
I
yet?
just left spaces in there now. Let me just go and remove them. So I don't know if you want it that way, or you can leave it at the way you had it.
No, I think if we'll try it this way.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah. We can always make this a little bit maybe bigger. 1, 2, no, 3. Okay, so that can stand out. Let's just remove spaces from here. Oh, it's gonna move it still down. Now I wonder why. Okay, let me just try this. Maybe there's hidden spaces in there now. And if you want to do something in this blocks, Brendan, it's better to paste it as plain text and use these icons to make it bold, etc., etc. Okay. Let me see if there's no spaces in there. Let's try a new one. See, this is a long one. Yeah, and then it will move down and it will split the invoice. So it's better for them to see the banking details following there, and there's their payments, and then all your notes. And these notes are just important that you do display them for them. So they can't say, yeah, I didn't have it, etc. Okay. I just want to do this. leaving too many spaces in there. Then your indemnity note. So there's your indemnity note. And you've just added your cancellation policy in here. But your indemnity note, if you use the check-in app or you want to print it from the line item in Q2B, your indemnity, I don't know if you do your own manual indemnity still, but normally you'll have your indemnity note in here and all your rules and regulations. Okay.
Yeah, we change that. Yeah.
So you can just come and delete this copy and add your real indemnity note in here. And rather do it in plain text and then use these icons to format it. Then there's that this is currently on your room voucher. And then your emails. So you'll see on your emails, these little words have ampersands. So it's ampersand, customer first name, ampersand, and that is all our variable fields in Q2B. So on page 23 in that manual, 23, 24, 25, is all the different variable fields that you can use in Q2B. It's available. This is standard emails that we upload for you, but you can change your emails to read whatever you want to. So this is an inquiry. Thank you for inquiring at. Download your invoice quote on the secure link provided. So you see there's already an error here because there is no link in here. Do you see that? So your email goes out to everybody, but there is no link in there.
So it's not a link, it's just a PDF quote
Yeah,
that gets sent.
yeah. So when we had that problem with Google, we suggested to the venues to go and change this word. And when the problem was over, we said, go and change your emails to read, please find attached. Your, so I'm very lazy to fix and repair. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to paste the default emails in there for you.
Okay.
And fix that up, because now I'm sure you're getting people that says, listen, there is no link to download. Where's my invoice? Go.
Yeah, I think we've had the invoice, it gets sent with the link, but the PDF gets attached to the email anyway. So I think people haven't really noticed it yet, but I think we should change it anyway.
You can come and change your own wording to read whatever you want it to read and what you want it to look like. I'll show you now a few ideas. But just keep in mind, the variable field is very sensitive. So if you, by mistake, put a space in between where the variable field is, the system will not be able to recognize the first or the last name or the email or the event name or whatever. And then it will just write the ampersand space, customer name, ampersand. It will not be able to recognize the variable field. And a variable field, I'm sure you know what it means. It goes into the system and it goes and it finds that customer's name or booking number or date for that specific booking. I'm just updating all of them because they're all reading at the wrong message at the moment. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so this is when an inquiry goes out, when it's an inquiry status, and you can come and change the wording to read, I always say just leave that in so that customers can see it's coming from the server. You can type in anything here. You can use any variable field that you want to. Like I said to you, it's just very sensitive. So if I leave a space in there by mistake, it will just say, thank you for inquiring at. It won't put Ilita Lodge in there. It will actually give the wrong variable field in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So it's quite sensitive. If you don't want to add the username, the user email, the user cell, you'll see there's variable fields where you can add the information of the venue in there, or you can just type it in there. You don't want to use the variable field. Okay, if a quote goes out, so that's what you're currently saying to a customer. If a quote goes out, if an invoice goes out, and there it's going to grab the event name from the booking and the start and the end date of the booking. Okay, so that's it.
Sorry, Henriette, I'm actually looking at a quote now as well, just what we received. And I see, because I've actually been receiving a lot more phone calls on my personal number. Is there any way, and I think it could be from this, is there any way where it says the user cell, how do we add the landline number, the Logic landline number?
Yeah, so you can, if you want to, you can come here.
Yeah, just as a standard.
Yeah, you can just as a standard remove the user cell.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna enter now and just paste your email in there. Your telephone number. If you don't want to use the email for the user, you can just use this
just have
email.
A standard.
Yeah. And then what you can do, so that's an email now. Okay, the system doesn't know it's an email. You can highlight it. Okay, you go to this little link here, insert link, and you paste the email in there again, and then it becomes a hyperlink in the email.
Okay, perfect. And you don't have to remove that user cell.
Yeah, then you need to remove these ones.
Okay,
Do you want me to remove it now for you?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you. I can do the rest. I'll copy and paste it. I don't want to waste your time, but I thought maybe just to ask you while.
So you'll see that where we got to the pictures, that's your banner, that's your icon, that's your logo. So let's say, for instance, in your emails, you would rather use your logo, not your banner. You can change it to the variable field for the logo.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to make it back to banner. Would you like me to copy this down, or do you first want to come and make changes to it?
No, I think that's it. I think it's just the only changes was the number and the email.
Okay. So let me do this. So, but anything that you want to write, or your own little story here, or your own note, you can do it the way you want it. And then also what you can do, you can also put black fields or any color fields, your own RGB color as well. You can select it here. There's your RGB, and you can select it here. Or you can select from this palette, and then you can say, make my copy white, and then it stands out like that. Okay. So anything that you want to do, you can do it that way as well. You can put hyperlinks in, you can put videos in, you can put links into documents, etc. So this is your copy that goes out with an invoice, a function sheet. Okay, and this link must be in there, otherwise they will not be able to open the function sheet. The registration link, the RSVP link, and then that's where they'll get the link from. Your feedback, so I just always make this bold and italic, and they will get your feedback. This we always leave at dear guest. If you use the check-in app, the system don't have the guest names as well. So this is the customer name in the booking. That's the customer. Okay. But all these rooms can have different guests. So that's why we leave the feedback as dear guest. Then tickets. This is what you'll send out with a ticket if you start using the tickets. And this is where you, if you do vouchers or sell vouchers online, this will go out if somebody buys a voucher. And you can always come and change your terms and conditions here for your own vouchers. I don't know if you guys have the check-in app. Are you using the check-in app? Can't remember.
No, not yet. No, we're not using it.
Okay, no, it's not set up. Okay. So you're now on a booking. On each line, there's a check-in where you can check them in here. Okay, on the line, if they check in room 1, there's the indemnity that you can print. And if you change that indemnity information in the venue setup, it will be in here. Okay, then you can print the indemnity. It's got a booking number in here. It also suffers for a gate pass if you have security at the gates. I don't know what your property looks like, but this is where you'll check them in, and you can also check them out, and where you can have the printed indemnity if you don't want to use the check-in app. Good. So there's your emails are fixed. And this is where you'll get your QR code. If you have the check-in app, you can also at your reception have only this QR code. People can scan it and check in with their own devices. Or you can have a tablet with your check-in app available, or you can send a pre-check-in link to them as well. Okay. Unsubscribe link, do you know what that is for?
Well, I guess if it's a mailing list, then they can click that to unsubscribe from it.
So let me just quickly show you. Now in Q2B, in your subscription, you also have a little bit of a mass mailer. You can only send to 500 people at a time. So let's say I'm looking for all the accommodation clients. That's why customer segmentation, you can see there's a lot where the user don't select the customer group, then it's empty. And then you can select it. So I want to send them all a mail, create mail. Or you can export it to Excel. It blind copies all the customers. And now you can say Xmas special. You can upload your image. You can write them a note. Okay, and then you can have your unsubscribe link in here. But you don't want to display this ugly link to them here. So you write here and you say, if you click here, you can highlight here, here, okay, any words, and then you can insert that link in here, the Q2B link. Yeah. Then if people get now your ad and your Xmas special rates and whatever, and they click here, Q2B, let me just delete this before we send it. Q2B will automatically go and tick that customer as a no mail.
Okay.
So then you can see and filter, and if you export again, it won't export that customer because he's ticked as a no mail. So you already said to you, I don't want to receive your mail. So that is what that link is all about. Your unsubscribe link. Then payments, you currently, the pay gates must always be on ZAR, the currency code, on QTB Pay. I don't know if you're going to move over to Pay Fast maybe, because they offer instant EFT as well, which QTB doesn't offer. So QTB Pay, and then online payments is available for your accommodation, activities, tickets, and on your invoice, and your normal EFT is enabled. Okay, so it's off. And there's your merchant number for QTB Pay for Bidvest. All these others is for the other packages. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. You don't have any interfaces. You only have BizPhone. Is that correct? The point of sale?
No,
Or are you
we
still?
don't.
You don't have it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we switch it off. Okay. So if you later get BizPhone, they'll come and insert. We'll select it here. We'll give them a login, and then we'll set up the connection with BizPhone from here. You don't have bulk SMSs, as far as I can remember. Okay, so you've got no integrations there. Then South Africa, Western Cape, you're in Mossel Bay. No? Or are you on Great?
I don't know if Great Back will come up.
You can try Grootbrak, but I don't think that comes up either. No, I don't think so.
Let's
So
keep
then
this Mossel Bay.
Okay. And then your star rating is 4. And you can also put, this is only used in venue setup. And this is also very important for the pay gate. The pay gate also gets your province and your region from here.
That's fine, that's all right.
Other, this whole page we're going to remove. It's information we used to collect for TBCSA. But we're not collecting it anymore for them because our company is too white, so they don't want to deal with us. Okay, and then if you have a standard admin fee, you can also set it up. Then it will apply to every booking. I don't think you've got any admin fees. Okay, and then birthday service. You can, if you want to, activate your birthday service. You can say, send it 30 days before somebody's birthday. You can set up a birthday voucher if you want to, or you can send a promo code and then they can redeem. The system will then go and look at the customer's birthday date. And this actually only works if you use the check-in app. Because they capture their date of birth there. And then it will automatically send them 30 days before their birthday, it will send them their birthday voucher. The same with weddings for anniversaries. You can do exactly the same. Now, I don't know if you know in a booking where it is. It's so right here at the bottom, and we've put it there especially because they would select it as date of birth, then they get a happy birthday. If it's a wedding, you can select the wedding date here, and the system will automatically then send them a happy anniversary every year. Right, and hopefully they're still married.
Yeah.
These days you don't know anymore. Okay, so this is what this last tab is for. So just a quick overview if you get there, and then you know at least what it's all about. Then users. So these are all your users currently in the system. Okay. And your venue admins. This is from he's busy training. And this is how he fixed it. So let me just, you can go and make him inactive. Okay. So there's Amy, she's still active. if you want to make it inactive, the same that we did. Okay, you can just make it inactive and nobody can log in on this email anymore. Would you like me to leave it inactive?
Yeah,
that's
fine.
Okay, and then Brendan, there's yours. Janus, Lisa, Nicole Campers. Is that correct? And then our support one.
Yeah, that's all good. Thank you.
Henriette is still there.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Can you hear me? I thought you said, just give me a minute.
Oh, no, we're good. Sorry.
No, you can continue.
Yeah, so Nicole is still there with you? Are all these? Now, venue admins have rights to all your venue setups and details, and all your banking details. A user works a bit different. So if I click on the little pencil, and there's my user, the name, it's a user. They start with the monthly accommodation screen. If they want to start on the all availability screen, you can change them. And then you can also say they start by week view or month view.
I think that's all fine.
Okay, so her telephone numbers are removed. I would suggest that you come and add the venue's number in here, paste it in there. And there's an email, and everything that she does or every booking that she makes is still going to Amy.
Yeah, that should then probably go to me.
Okay. Okay, and then she's got rights to give a 100% discount, and she's got no rights to do payments, capture payments. Is that correct?
No, she should be able. No, she can capture payments. We can allow her to. Yeah, she needs to be able to add payments.
Allow payments, and can she sell something for 100% for zero?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. Then I'm just going to say save. Okay. So there. So you'll see with a user, it's got an extra action button in here. Can you see there in my corner? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I click on access. Okay. And all the green ones, she's got currently access to. I can also say what's assigned or unassigned to her. These are all the functionality at the moment that she's unassigned for and assigned for. And then we also have a default. So she's set up as a default. Okay. But let's say, for instance, you want to remove the reservation list. She's not allowed to make copies from the reservation list. And that is this little icon here. Where you, if you click on it, it makes a copy of the invoice.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So let's say you want to remove it from her. You can just tick it off and say save. Then that icon for her will remove. And anything in the system. Let's say you wanted to pull a payments report for you, print a payments report for you every day. You can just select payments report and it will update and she will have payments report. She can currently see the list. She can create a payment now. She can edit a payment. She cannot delete a payment. She can print the receipt and she can mail the receipt. Okay. So any a thing that you want to give her access to, reports, payments reports, reservations, you can say she's not allowed to edit, she's not allowed to print the invoice, she's not allowed to create from the reservation list copy, export the list or anything. All the functionalities in here. So that's the difference between a administrator and a user. The administrator will just have plain rights and it's got access to everything. There's no access that you can remove from them or not. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so Brendan, you'll have to come in to, yeah, all of that, or it's only, I don't know, Lisa's, is it going to Amy? Yeah. So do you want me to change this to, okay. So you can come in here and you can check them all and just change it to whatever you want to. Okay.
Yeah, that's good, thank you.
Okay. And then customer group. Okay. So there's your customer groups. That's what I said, the customer segmentation. I always like to put behind it this and maybe make that shorter. It doesn't show anywhere for the customer. It's just easier when you make a reservation. See, accommodation customer, conference customer, if you add it in, it's just, especially if you work on small devices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can come and change the names in here. And it's just edit. If you want to delete and it's already used somewhere, it will just tell you I cannot delete the segmentation because it's already been used. If you want to create more action, create new, add a name in there, save. Then your revenue groups. So these are your revenue splits. And as you know, if they don't come and select, let's say this is a conference and they don't select conference, all this revenue will go towards accommodation revenue. So this is where we force the user to select the area, select the revenue group. But if they select the wrong one, the revenue will go to the wrong revenue group. So these are your revenue groups. Then your reservation origin, that's also in the booking, where you can select where did this booking come from. Word of mouth, you can also add profit room in here, own website, etc. And then you can also pull reports on it to see where the booking did come from. So that's your origins. And it also action, create new, and you can add more if you want to, or edit or delete some of them.
Yep.
Okay, then we're getting to your resource categories. Okay, so this is your inactive resource category. Let's say, for instance, you add or you want to add another category later on. You can reuse this one. Unfortunately, you cannot delete it because it's already been used on history bookings. Yeah, bookings in the past.
Yeah.
So that's why you cannot make it in or delete it because it will just say there's an audit trail that's been used already on the bookings in the past. But these are all your categories that you currently have. So let's go into the first one. So that's the Lodge Executive King and Twin. It's online. If you don't want people to be able to book it online, you mark it inactive for online. Your rate is occupancy based. We always leave the 999 in there, meaning if they go on to 2025 and they want to make a booking and you didn't generate rates yet, it will just say the rate is not available, please contact the venue.
Okay.
Okay, so that 999 just stops the customer to book 2024, 2025 at a 2023 rate. Okay.
Yep.
So we always leave it in there. The room capacity is 2. And then you can also say this room can take 2 adults, or it can take an adult with one of these children or one of these children. The minimum is 1. This is your first child policy. And this is your second child policy.
Yeah, that's all correct.
Okay. And this is your description of your room. And I can't remember, do you have all your, do you have different rates?
For
Do you have room only? Yeah.
No.
You've
We
got
only have
self-catering, right?
Yeah, bed and breakfast and
Oh,
self-catering.
the lodge rooms only have bed and breakfast. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you can say this rate includes breakfast and blah, blah, blah. Once again, you can use bullet points if you want to.
Yep.
And you can add it into bullet points, and you can use formatting in here as well. This is where you'll upload images for your room for that category. Right. And you can go and upload images, which I see they haven't done yet. But you're using the Profit Room link on your website anyway, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't have to worry too much about that.
Right? But you can, if you want to add images, I always upload these ones. You can say, and now you can sort them as well and say, make this number 1 and make that number 2. Okay, and save. So you can also put them in a different sequence. If you don't want to use them, just click on the little cross and it will remove the photos from there.
Yep.
Okay. And you can see all the rates generated for the category. But this takes a while to open up.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a lot of rates generated on the category. Can you guys just give me a second? I just want to go and get a glass of water, please.
Yeah, no, that's no worries.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Okay, so you'll see there's all your rates. Now this can be hundreds. You've got 2,870 rates. Now, like I said to you, what we had to do, you had to go into each one of them, and then we had to go and delete all the rates manually from them. So it's quite a tedious job. So before you generate, always make sure what you're generating. Okay.
Yeah, no.
You can write to support, but then they will wipe, but then they'll wipe all your rates for you from the server. And that's what we didn't want to do. So here you can see there's all the rate categories. So let's say I only want to see the standard bed and breakfast. Okay. So there's my standard bed and breakfast. I want to see up until what date is it generated. So it's up until 14/12/2025. So these are ascending and descending scrolling. That's your first rate for one person. If two, and this doesn't look right, eh? Or is it correct?
It should be the other way around.
No. So this now is if it's one person, if it's two people, for your child rate 1. And we don't display the child rate 2 in here because there's not enough space. That's a plus rate, max rate, you don't use that. So you'll have to go and regenerate your standard B&B rates. I can see.
Is there any way, how do we, if you just scroll down a little bit just to figure out where that C, because there it's fine. There it's the correct way around.
So it's
no, that's all fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yes, it looks like it's for like 2025 or something.
So I'm going to show you in the all availability. I never come here because you can see you're going to scroll your life away finding it now.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's I just wanted to show you, this is where you can see all the rates that's generated on this category.
Yeah, I'll look under all availability. I think that's easier.
That's a much easier way to look it up there and also fix it from there. Okay. It will not allow you to delete one by one here, and it will allow you to edit a rate here, but it's a very long and tedious way to fix it. So any rate that you want to see what is generated, you can come and check it in here. Okay. Every rate that's generated on this category will be in here. Same with minimum stays and stay requirements. Minimum stays. And this is where you can see all the minimum stays that's generated on this category.
So there's all twos.
Okay. So this is where Johan, I think he did it yesterday for you. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Where he closed up your next year December for you. Okay.
But that should only be, sorry, just do you mind quickly clicking the pencil? I just want to see what rate plan you closed on. Because that shouldn't be, that should just be for bookings.com.
OTA B&B.
Yeah, that's good. That's correct.
Okay. So this is where you can see all your stay requirements, and you can delete it if you want to. You can also say that's wrong, action, delete selected.
Yeah, I think we're fine now. Everything is working well with the stay requirements. I think we're good there.
So all of these categories works the same. I think your self-catering is per room per night. Yeah. So your self-catering is per room per night. So you'll only deal with rate 1. This room can take 4. You don't care if it's adult or children, so you don't have child policies in here.
Yeah, no, self-catering is fine.
Yeah. So this is maximum occupancy. You say 2 adults, 2 children. Okay. So this note that it shows on your profit room link. On the room.
Sorry,
because this now is not going to display anywhere if you use the profit room link. The room description is set up in the profit room. Okay. So that people just know they can't sleep 4 adults maybe in that room. So yours are easy, but I will, if I'm you, I will come and check my rates from here. I will go, let's check from, what was it, the 10th of Jan, if I can remember correctly. Right, so let's check 11th of Jan. You open up your, okay, and there's your bed and breakfast rate currently for those rooms. If I want to see what is my OTA rates.
Yep.
Okay, and if I want to see what is my self-catering rates, it's not going to show nothing there because there's no self-catering, but it will show here. Okay. And you know, I've showed you how to generate rates from here.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's for me, I would rather do it from here. It's just easier to do it from here. Okay. Okay, so that's your resource categories. Then setup styles, I don't think you use it quite a lot, but
no.
You can add more, and you can also edit, action, create new, and you can also edit and delete it. Upload attachments. Okay, so there's your rate sheet. It was uploaded. Your conference packages, self-catering rates. So if you want to edit it, you can just change the name. You can upload the new document. If you don't know what document is this, what was uploaded, you can download it again from here, and you can just view if you cannot remember what was the document.
Okay. And where does that, what's the point of that? Where does that get sent, or how do we send that? How do
so in a booking, where you go to mail, Okay. And I want to mail with attachment. I can select any attachment here and send, and it will go with to the client.
Okay. That's good.
So venues use it normally for their BE certificate, bank confirmation letter, terms and conditions, all of those things that companies always want from you when they book a conference or wedding contracts, menus, selection. You can upload on any format. So let's say you want to upload your menu in Excel format, where they must select the menu. You can also do it in any format that you want to upload. So, and you can send it to a customer as an attachment. Then we get to your resources. So now these are all your resources. Okay. So we had your resource categories. On this category, there's rooms hanging on this category. And this is the resource. So if I say I want to find all the what contains large standard. Okay, and there's all my words that contain large standard. Okay, I can also search with that block in there. I can then clear the filter. Okay, you can also go up and down, ascending and descending with it. Even the colors. Okay, so this is a returnable inventory item. That's a cut. So that will show, if you book it out, it will show in your managed reservations. It will show in your resource availability that the cut is booked out. And you've only got one. Then rooms works a bit different. So there's room 1. That date is just when we registered the room. So some venues will build onto their venue, and then it will do all the occupancy calculations from that certain date. Or they would have closed the room, and then they will come and reopen a room, and then the occupancy and RevPAR will be calculated from this date. Okay. Then the capacity, there's once again the split. There's the color, you can change the colors. And that belongs, this room belongs to Lodge Honeymoon Room. So it belongs to that category. We've got an accommodation check-in here, but I don't think you use it. Minimum 1. And it's very important that the same rate type is used that you've used in the resource categories. If you've used occupancy-based, it's very important that you use the same rate type as well in the room. And there's your child rates. We just put zeros here because you're going to generate the rates. You can also, of course, put 999 in here if you want to go through all that trouble. You don't need the description because you work by category. Let me show you a dining room. So dining room, the capacity is 20. You don't select anything here. You can also go and open a resource category and say venues and link it to all the venues. Okay. And then they fall under one. Now for the dining room, you can pre-select what setup styles can you do in the dining room. So let's say you can do that one, that one, that one, that one, and you cannot do that one. In a booking, if I select dining room, in the setup style, in the line item, I can pre-select the setup that it must be in when I book the dining room out. And that shows in your daily setup report. It shows you already. It's the dining room, and I think dining is spelled with one N, or is I correct or wrong?
I think it's one N.
It's one N. Okay, so we're going to fix it. So you can pre-select, and then the user can select already what shape it must be set up in. Okay. You can pre-select any attachment. So if you book it out, the attachment will automatically go with that booking. So that's rooms. You don't do activities. You've got returnable inventory items, only one. Oh, no, you've got a sound system as well. Also one. Returnable inventory just works like this. You've got sound system. You've only got one. You can do your own color for it. And you just tick it as a returnable inventory item. And the system will now manage it as a returnable inventory item. Okay, and then you don't have inactive rooms. Yep. And then you've got self-catering. Right. Let's say unit 30. So there's unit 13. It can take up to 6 people. It belongs to this category. So if you notice or you make changes in profit room and you see this unit 13, it doesn't belong to this category. It belongs to another category. You can change it here, but please make sure that it fits with the same information you've got in profit room.
Yeah, no, that's we've gone through that quite a lot. I
think
those are all
those are per night, and that they all set up like that. Okay.
Yeah, that's all good.
So I think that is all good and sorted so far. Yeah, and that's this copy function. Just be careful of it. You can say copy here, and it will copy the exact resource, and it will tell the system I've got now 2 banquet halls.
Okay.
That copy function. You cannot delete a resource because we keep an audit trail, but you can edit a resource. You can create unlimited ones by saying create new.
I'm assuming you can make it inactive somehow as well then.
Yeah, you can make it inactive. Let's say, for instance, room 1, you don't want anybody to book it. Inactive for online bookings, and inactive. Inactive means nobody can book it online. If I leave it like that, but users can still book it. If I do this, it means nobody will be able to book it. Okay. So you must always just remember when you generate rates that your large rooms have 2 child rates that you also have to generate. You can't leave it blank. Okay. So it's quite easy. And if you want to see, okay, I want to see lodge twin. I've got 3. I've got 1 in that category. So you can filter it in alphabetical order, and then you can see, or you can search for them and you can count them and see if it's correct, if it's linked to the correct category. You don't have resource pools because you don't do activities. Promo codes. We've got a few minutes. Do you want me to go through this promo codes with you?
Yeah.
I think we're going to do that from profit rooms.
Oh, that's actually true,
Yeah, sorry, I think we're doing that from profit rooms end now, so I don't think we need to go through that.
Yeah, because you use your promo codes now in profit room, hey?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. So let's skip this one because you're not going to use it. If you want to use it, we can return to it one day. But I see you've started using it last year with Black Friday. Or this year, you set up something where you can do bookings from up until October. Don't know if there's nothing was sold, so you don't advertise it.
I don't think we actually advertise or actually used it.
Yeah. So count means you'll see how many was sold. So it means you didn't use it. So let's skip that one. It's not necessary. Here's all your rate categories. Yeah. So this is offline, 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 offline. It means from your online link, nobody can book with that link, with that rates. Only with self-catering rate and the standard rate is online. And your default rate is your standard bed and breakfast rate. STO rate is also offline. Yeah. You can add more rate categories in here. Now, what's very important, I don't know if you've done your splits, But let's say, for instance, your standard bed and breakfast. You see this little icon here? That's your department split. Okay. So you've said, whatever my rate is, 150 goes to food and bev. That's for the breakfast. Okay. And the remaining goes to accommodation. Okay, so that's set up. Okay, let's just check the self-catering ones. Okay, so they're not set up, so you'll have to go action, create new. All this is self-catering, so there's no food involved. So all I'm saying, accommodation, the remaining balance goes to accommodation. So all these splits are very important in the management report. Otherwise, you'll get unallocated items in your period revenue and your management report. Like this conference, 24-hour conference rate. You can come and split it up and you can say food and bev is getting out of that conference rate 250. Okay. Then out of that amount as well, equipment rental gets 20 Rand. Okay. And then out of whatever that rate is, housekeeping is getting 50 Rand, stationery, whatever you do, and then the rest goes to accommodation. Then the system will already, when you use this rate, it will automatically break it down into your second revenue splits for you. Okay, so that's very important that you still need to come and do. And I'll show you why I'm saying it's important for you to do. So just come back here, click on them, and then just check all of them so that they split correctly.
Yeah.
If I go now and I say, do a period revenue for me from the 1st to the 21st, and I'm certainly going to do it on screen. Now it's calculating all the financial stuff and then all the operational stuff. So do you see here on the screen, unassigned, 33,000 Rand? So then if you go and split your rates and your priceless items properly, you won't have those unassigned. And then you will know where it's going towards. If you split your rates, it will show bed and breakfast made so much, food and bev, and accommodation made so much out of that total. Okay. Otherwise, the ones that's not is used and that splits are not done properly, it will show unassigned. Okay. So this is normally where I also just go and see quickly if I've done all the assignments. So it looks if it's just that conference one that's not assigned. But it doesn't look like you use it quite a lot. Okay. So you want to get rid of these unassigned items. There's 33,000. The accountant, Janus, everybody's going to jump up and down. They don't know where to put that 33,000 Rand towards. So what we've done is we've built a health check in here, and you go and go action, health check. And it's going to show you all the items that's not assigned. So there's already your rate. You see, you've used this rate on a booking between the 1st and the 21st, and it's not assigned to departments. So you can edit it from here, and you can go and you say, and it takes you to the breakdown, and then you can do the breakdown like I did before. And there's your rates. So here you can also immediately see your rates are not split these rates properly. A priceless item. This item is not allocated to a department. A reservation line that was added manually, but it's not allocated to a department. Okay. And if you, a promo code without a department, so this promo code was used, but it had no department. Promo code had no department.
Okay.
I think maybe you use these promo codes internally. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But you can edit them from here. It goes into a new screen. And you can say the department for this promo code is discount for units celebrating Mother's Day. So you can have a special department here. And you can say promos, or it goes towards accommodation and save.
That's good.
And then you go back to your report and you do the next one and next one and next one. Then you'll at least get rid of that unassigned. Okay. So that's why I say that to split that right categories in the assigned departments is quite important for you to do. Proper reports out of here. So just go through them, see if the splits are still okay. If breakfast is still 150, if it's not, then just change the split. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions about that, Brendan?
No.
Okay. This is
Okay,
the,
Henriette, sorry, I think I'm going to just ask to be excused. Brendan will stay on for the last 50, whatever. But if you'll excuse me, please.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. So, Brendan, this is the old rate generator I showed you.
Yeah.
You can also come in here, and it's very important. So, if a room can take 2, you can do them together if they're on the same rate. Yeah. So they will all work on 2. You select the dates that you want to generate the rates from. 2. And what rate are you now going to generate? Let's say that one. Then the next one for one person, let's say it's 1,002. Okay, so the occupancy based, and I can take 2. Then for the next person, 1,400. If there's 2 sleeping in the room. And then for you, it's very important for you to come and add a rate in here. If you don't add a rate in here, they will be able to book the children for free.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have to complete it right through and then say generate, and it will generate that rate on that rate category.
Yeah.
So you understand this part.
Yeah. No, that's good. That I've got. I wanted maybe just on that rate category or rate generator. Is there a limit to how many rates you can load at a time? Because I tried to load, I think it was January to December 2025, and it wasn't loading. So it would load and load and load, and then never actually generate the rates. Is there a limit?
So so normally when we do it, we don't go over a year, because now you must remember what you're doing. You are pushing those rates for every day of the year into the server. And if your Wi-Fi is slow, it's going to take very long.
Yeah.
So what I normally do, if I use the old rate generator or all availability, I would do a year at a time.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did a year with it, so maybe I'll try to do a little bit less when I reload it again. I thought maybe it just was an error or something, so maybe just try to do a little bit less.
And it will, now you have to wait for it, and it will spin until a message comes up and says generation complete. Then it will populate. If you go out and you refresh that screen, it will stop the generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good, thank you.
So, especially if your Wi-Fi is slow, it takes quite a while. Or you're trying to do 18 months, it takes quite a while. So I would think maybe if I'm you, I'll do it 6 months at a time. Are you on normal Wi-Fi, or are you on fiber?
No, we've got normal Wi-Fi, yeah.
So that's also the reason why it's very slow. So maybe then you'll have to do it 6 months at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where the old generator is, but all available. And this one will also take long. It will actually take longer than the all availability screen. The all availability is quicker than the old generation. Okay.
Yeah.
And then OTAs only accept 18 months of rates upfront.
Yes, only 18 months, yep.
So when you generate to OTAs, just always keep in mind they will not accept more than 18 months, right? Okay, then you will get an error. Okay, and then right generator, cutoff times. So this is something we added, where you can say I'm not taking bookings from 12 o'clock in the day. So the room will close up. If you want it, you can create one and you can say for these resources, from this date to that date, the time it must stop. And it will stop selling that room from 12 o'clock. It's just for some of the venues, they don't want walk-ins and they don't want last-minute bookings for purpose of safetyness, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've got that. We set up on Profit Room and Bookings.com, so that's kind of done via the other sites. That's not a problem.
Okay, so I showed you the generation of the stay requirements in the all availability screen, okay, where you can do it, but you can also do it in this way. Stay requirements. You can say 4 rooms if you just want to do specific rooms, or I want to do it by category, and then you say for this rate. So you have to select the rate, and then for this resources. So you can decide which ones applies now to that one and that one. Okay. Then you can say from a Friday to a Sunday from this date up until next year, November. You have to stay a minimum of 2 nights with me on weekends. You say insert periods. There's the whole year, all the weekends. And then you can say generate, and it will put a minimum stay on all the weekends up until next year, November.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you can do it that way. Or you can say in April, there's a long weekend. Let's say it's this weekend from the 4th until the 8th. That's a long weekend. And we're going to only take minimum stays of 3 nights. Generate, and a minimum stay will be on that rate category. If you want to apply it on the OTA bed and breakfast, you have to select the new rate category and then generate it again. Okay. So now you know no arrivals and no departures. The OTAs won't accept it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. You can close it. So this is what Johan did. He went there. He selected that from December to January, and he said closed set. But the OTAs won't accept the no departures and no arrivals. They apparently removed it. Okay.
Yeah, so you just said closed.
Yeah, so you can only close it.
Yep.
But it's very important that you're on the correct rate category if you want to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the requirement. Facilitators you don't have because it's for activities. And then I think Pricelist groups, extra add-on list. Do you sell add-on? No, you don't. You do it through Profit Room. So I'm going to skip that one. And then we'll start Friday with Pricelist. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry, Hendrik, maybe before we go, so yeah, obviously thank you for doing this training. We really appreciate it, taking the time. I think these things are pretty set on these things, so that's all good. I did want to ask you, I had a call with Rita yesterday, with QTP Pay and the whole Profit Room thing.
Yeah.
We're just struggling a little bit because with Profit
She
Room,
wants to switch it off, hey?
Yeah, so she mentioned that you might mention it now in this training quickly, just on how to just switch the QTB Pay off with Profit Room.
Yeah. So I'll just make a note. We'll start at Pricelist, but I'm gonna rush through this because it's actually very easy, all this mumbo jumbo. I want to spend more time with you here and on your reporting, and show you on your reporting and your department splits. Okay, so what she asked me, I said I'll show you. So you just go to your channel manager. There's your channels that you currently linked to in QTB. You click on Profit Room. Okay. That's your profit room ID. It works in ZAR, rates from categories. It updates rates, minimum stay. That's the link where we check if there's errors. And now send Q2B invoice. You don't want to send the Q2B invoice anymore. Just tick it off, save, and it will not send the Q2B invoice anymore.
Okay, so now it'll be our responsibility to get the payment via profit room, or just follow up with the guests instead of them sending. Because I think our challenge was that guests for profit room, they have the system that you need to put the credit card details in to confirm, but that doesn't take payment.
Yeah.
We go through Q2B Paygate. So instead of, and then they'd have to either do an EFT or pay the Q2B by Q2B Paygate. But then they put in their credit card details twice, and then I know people are not going to want to do that. And it's a long process. Whereas if they just did once on profit room, and then we just sort out the payment directly with profit room.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll spend more time with you just to explain the channel manager with you.
Yeah.
But that I'm going to spend separate time with you, because that is the most important, that you have to know how this works.
Yeah.
Okay. And how it's linked up. So I'll rather spend more time here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can see you've got these profit room bookings, but there was no payment that happened on them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to sort out with Rita now, because that's where our current conversation is, and why guests aren't paying and why aren't we receiving money and all that stuff. So
so if you want to switch it back on, and you test and you see with Rita, you just go channel manager, profit room, with a little pencil, and you just tick that and save, and it will send the Q2B invoice again.
No, that's great. That's great. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Andrea.
Okay, so let's carry on. I'll make a note on the booking for Friday that we're going to carry on with Pricelist, because that for me is still a little bit not set up in your venue setup properly, because I just want to show you how I pick it up. Find missing Pricelist items. These are all the items not allocated yet. So your conference packages are not allocated to different departments yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And that also allows in the booking for that unassigned items. Okay. And you don't have point of sale, right? Yeah, no, you don't have this either. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll speak to you then on Friday, Brenda. I'll make a note, and then we'll carry on with Pricelist on Friday.
No, that's good. Thank you very much.
All right.